In the heart of the crypto winter, when markets were frozen and hope was scarce, few assets stood tall. XRP was one of them. Long dismissed, frequently doubted, and bruised by a long regulatory battle, XRP had been written off by many. The SEC lawsuit loomed like a dark cloud for years. Investors watched, some in silence, others with fiery conviction, as Ripple Labs fought for clarity in a world that still didn't understand the power of distributed finance. But in 2023, that clarity finally came. A judge ruled that XRP, when sold to retail buyers, was not a security. That one ruling changed everything. It was as if a dam had burst. Years of suppressed momentum suddenly surged forward. Exchanges like Coinbase, Kraken, and Gemini relisted XRP within hours. The token that had once been exiled was now being embraced again by the crypto community. Yet what came next surprised even the most loyal supporters. By early 2025, XRP had grown over 420% year-to-date, driven by more than just legal relief. Institutional interest was building. Hedge funds, banks, and payment corridors were watching XRP again, this time with serious intent. Analysts across the board were beginning to whisper what XRP believers had long shouted: "This isn't just a coin, it's infrastructure." The narrative evolved. RippleNet, Ripple's global payment network, was processing billions in cross-border settlements using XRP as a bridge currency. The days of 3-day SWIFT wire transfers were fading, replaced by near-instant international settlements. Countries like Japan, Brazil, and parts of the Middle East began experimenting with Ripple's CBDC platform, and central banks quietly explored stablecoin issuance built on XRPL technology. Backed by these real-world use cases, XRP was no longer just riding hype. It had utility, it had scalability, and it had clarity. Meanwhile, technical traders noticed something else. XRP's chart was setting up for something big. Analysts saw bullish divergence on the RSI, a classic signal of reversal. Elliott wave theorists predicted a 5-wave impulse to $13. Peter Brandt, a respected market veteran, pointed to a breakout pattern aiming for $450 and beyond. AI models like Gemini's projected XRP hitting $445 by the end of August 2025, and some bullish forecasts saw a surge to $520 in optimal conditions. In early August, when XRP briefly dipped under $3, skeptics called it a top. But within days, over $1.2 billion in XRP was bought back after a wave of sell-offs. It was a message from the market. This dip was fuel, not failure. And then came the whispers of an ETF. With BlackRock and other asset managers filing for Bitcoin and Ethereum spot ETFs, rumors circulated that XRP could be next. The idea wasn't far-fetched. Now that XRP had legal clarity and global utility, institutions were seriously considering exposure to the only major token actively used by banks, fintech companies, and even central banks. Crypto Twitter exploded with speculation. Videos circulated showing XRP passing through $3.50. Heading toward $5, memes declared, "The standard is coming." Analysts compared it to early Ethereum before the DeFi boom. And behind the scenes, Ripple Labs kept building, signing partnerships, onboarding payment corridors, and expanding into Africa and Southeast Asia. Despite the buzz, Ripple's CEO stayed calm. "We're not focused on the price," he said in an interview. "We're focused on solving real-world problems. If XRP is solving global liquidity, the price will take care of itself." By mid-2025, XRP wasn't just rising, it was leading. It became one of the top performers of the year. It outpaced Bitcoin in ROI over the past 12 months. It earned recognition as the smartest crypto investment under $500 by analysts and publications. The Fear and Greed Index flipped green for XRP. For the first time in years, XRP wasn't just fighting for relevance, it was defining the future. And what of the future? Some say XRP is setting the stage to be more than a bridge for payments. It could be the backbone of tokenized real-world assets, enabling global liquidity for stocks, commodities, and currencies. A true internet of value. A future where $1,000 XRP is not just a fantasy, but a reflection of how deeply integrated it's become in the world's financial bloodstream. The story isn't over, not even close. But what was once a quiet rebellion has become a global movement. And XRP, the token that refused to die, is now breathing life into a new financial era. Fast, borderless, and fair.